Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, let's jump straight into it today. We're looking at a completely fascinating new model that is literally changing the game for how we route prompts. Plus, we've got a comprehensive look at the week's absolute biggest shifts across the artificial intelligence landscape. We have a super packed agenda today. We'll start by meeting the orchestrator, dive into its routing mechanics, see Fugu in the real world, check out workflow integrations, discuss some new government oversight, and wrap up with some rapid fire updates. Let's get right to it.
All right, part one, meet the orchestrator. Let's talk about Sakana Fugu.
So we are kicking things off with this brand new release out of Sakana AI, and it's called Sakana Fugu. Now, this isn't just your standard model, like the newest iteration of GPT or Claude. It is actually what's known as an orchestrator model. I want you to think of it kind of like a brilliant traffic cop or a super efficient project manager. Instead of trying to generate the answer itself, Fugu's entire job, literally its whole purpose, is to look at your prompt and intelligently delegate it to the absolutely best underlying AI for that specific task. It just sits right there between you and the models to effectively manage your workflow.
Moving on to part two, let's look at the routing mechanics and exactly how Fugu directs all this traffic.
Let's visualize exactly how this prompt routing paradigm shift actually works, step by step. First step, it analyzes. Fugu takes a hard look at the difficulty of the prompt you just entered. Second, it routes. If it's just an everyday task, it sends it to the standard Fugu configuration, which gives you super fast speed and low latency. But if it's a really hard problem, it kicks it over to Fugu Ultra for deep reasoning. Third, and honestly, this is the wild part, it can split the work. It literally divides different parts of one single prompt and sends them to multiple models simultaneously. And finally, rerouting. If an underlying provider, say OpenAI or Anthropic, happens to go down, Fugu instantly reroutes your prompt to a working model. You don't lose a single ounce of progress.
And you can see exactly why this intelligent managing actually matters so much. Fugu actually beats or matches previous top-tier models on some really key coding and logic tests. Just look at this data. Fugu beats Fable 5 in live coding bench, it completely tops Mythos in Google proof questions and answers, and it hits parity with Fable 5 in Scode. Basically, by perfectly matching the right tool to the right job behind the scenes, it manages to get better results than any single model trying to do it all alone.
Okay, part three. Let's see Fugu in the real world, looking at some coding clones, and, of course, the costs.
So do these benchmarks actually hold up out in the wild? Well, let's look at a real-world stress test. They put Fugu Ultra on what they called full-on YOLO mode, using a developer tool called Codex CLI to build a game completely from scratch. The task was to clone a game called Megabonk. Fugu prioritized the actual working mechanics over flashy graphics, creating Bonk Storm. It's this highly addictive, fully functional 2D vampire survivor clone with working meta upgrades and menus right out of the box. Now contrast that with Fable's attempt. Fable gave us superior 3D graphics and adjustable camera angles, sure, but it completely failed to dial in the actual functional gameplay loops. It looked pretty, but it just didn't play as well. But hey, there's always a catch, right? Generating that game, plus a fully functional clone of the Future Tools website, chewed through a massive 22 million input tokens. That is a ton of text the AI had to read and process. The total bill for just those two generation tests, a staggering $30. Yeah, $30. So while it absolutely got the job done, you definitely might want to hold off on using Fugu Ultra mode for your everyday tasks at that kind of price point.
All right, on to part four, workflow integration with Nexus and Claude Tag.
This whole orchestrator concept is actually part of a much bigger trend we're seeing, which is AI orchestrating our daily work environments. There's a massive boom in workflow managers right now. On one side, you've got platforms like Nexus. It acts as this awesome productivity dashboard that combines ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini all into one place. And it even features a no-code builder to automate tasks across Google Drive and Slack. But then, on the other hand, Anthropic just dropped Claude Tag. This is a real game changer. Instead of opening up a separate app, you can natively tag Claude right inside Slack, just like you would a human coworker. It'll break your project down into multiple steps, use your company's tools, and just work quietly in the background, all while actually remembering the context of the chat channel you're in. AI researcher Andre Karpathy actually weighed in on this, and he pointed out that tools like Claude Tag represent the third major redesign in how we interact with AI. First, we had those basic web chat apps. Then we moved to standalone apps, and now we are bringing these models seamlessly, directly into our existing human workflows. The AI can literally take the initiative and jump in whenever it sees a place to be helpful. And just to give you an idea of how effective this integration really is, Anthropic claims that a massive 65% of their own internal code is currently being written using this exact Claude Tag feature. That's a staggering amount of development being handled by an AI coworker that natively lives in their chat channels. Let's shift gears to part 5, government oversight and the staggered GPT 5.6 rollout. Moving away from features for a second, we have some major regulatory news about OpenAI and that highly anticipated GPT 5.6 model. And this could seriously change how we even get our hands on these tools. According to a memo sent to staff on Thursday by Sam Altman, the Trump administration has actually asked OpenAI to stagger the release of new models over security concerns. What does this mean for the upcoming GPT 5.6 preview? Well, it means the government is literally approving access individually, customer by customer. Now, OpenAI has been pretty clear about this. They explicitly stated to the US government that this staggered customer-by-customer rollout is absolutely not their preferred long-term model. They noted that they are actively working with the government and others in the tech industry to find a much more sustainable approach for future releases. But for right now, it leaves the exact timeline for public access to powerful models like GPT 5.6 and even Fable completely up in the air. Okay, finally, part 6. Let's do some rapid-fire updates covering video, open weights, and hardware. To wrap up today's explainer, let's hit a rapid-fire rundown of the other tech updates you need to know this week because, man, this industry is still moving incredibly fast. First up, at a conference in Beijing, C-Dance 2.5 was teased, and it showcased 30-second video generation that can utilize up to 50 different reference assets. That's huge. Next, Crea 2 released their image model as open weights. That means you can now download it and custom fine-tune it perfectly to your own art style. We also saw The Atlantic release a searchable database exposing copyrighted materials used in AI training. It actually revealed that YouTuber Moist Critical had over 200 of his videos swept up into the training data. Over in hardware news, OpenAI is partnering up with Broadcom to develop custom AI inference chips, hoping to make models a lot faster and cheaper to run. And finally, Meta launched 26 brand new styles for their smart Ray-Bans, which includes a new partnership with Kylie Jenner. We have covered a ton of ground today, right? From the crazy mechanics of intelligent prompt routing to some incredibly deep workflow integrations. So I want to leave you with this final thought to really ponder. As orchestrator AI managers start taking the wheel, directing our tasks behind the scenes, and as governments step in to strictly regulate rollouts right at the top, who is really controlling the future of your AI workflow? It's something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.